Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California's sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars. On hot7025fm.com.
Happy Wednesday once again, everybody. How y'all doing? I hope y'all having a great week. I'm having a really long week, but in a good way. I'm getting my rest. I'm taking my vitamins, all of that good stuff, drinking my water, eating my fruits and vegetables. I may not be getting as much rest as I did last week. That was different. I'm sure that was different. But all in all, I'm doing pretty good this week. I'm doing pretty well. Some days I go to sleep on time. Some days I can't help but go to sleep later. But man, I think it's the working at night is what's getting me. I think I may have to do something about working so late now, because that's probably what's messing with my sleep schedule so much. But other than that, it's been a really good week. They have the daddy-daughter dance next Thursday, not tomorrow, next Thursday, at their school. And my Kalila came and asked me right away. I've been waiting for this. These are things that I love doing as a father, moments that I can't wait for, that I've been looking forward to, so it excites me when those moments come, so it's good to see that she's even more excited than me is great. It's just a blessing. Kids are amazing. Other than that, though, there's nothing really, too much to talk about in the last week, at least on my end. I'll be honest. It's just been a very productive, long week, in a good way, though, right? In a good way. But after last week's conversation and talking about burnout and how things can be and what that kind of looks like, another conversation that was more so on the lines of, fatherhood. And the discussion just came over the fact of, some people are getting praised for being seen, but not really being there. Like, you see some men that'll post pictures of a child, and on the internet or social media, it looks like great, they're involved, but then you find out on the back end that person is just only there to post pictures. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, there's a lot to dive into with it for today, so I'm gonna get right into it, because I'm very interested in this topic, because I don't give there's no bias, man. You either all in, or you need to do better. You know what I mean? There's no excuses. I'm telling you right now, there's no excuses. Again, today we're talking about fatherhood, but not the version that gets posted, praised, and performed. We're talking about the difference between present fathers and praised fathers, because those are not always the same thing, okay? We live in a society where fathers are often applauded for being visible, but rarely examined for being consistent, right? And again, we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like here in a second. But a dad gets praised for taking his child to the store. A dad gets recognition for attending a school event. A dad gets celebrated for doing things that are expected of parents. I always make the comment that I feel like I can do better as a father, that I can always do better. And, they always say you're your own biggest critic. And a lot of people always compliment me on my parenting, on me being there, being a father. I get a lot of compliments on it. And, like the compliments, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate them. I do appreciate the acknowledgement wholeheartedly. I will not deny that. I appreciate it 1,000%. But, like I'm only doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I brought these kids into this world. I have to be um, a great example. I have to be, what did I say? What I didn't receive, I became. You know, I didn't have that growing up, and I know how that felt as a kid without a father being there. So I refused to let my children that I chose to bring into this world um, go through that same trauma. You know, you can only break these generational curses one at a time. I just try to do what I can every day. And again, even with that, I still feel like I can do better as a father. I'm just being honest. There's always room for improvement. And again, while appreciation is important, we do have to be honest about something that is very uncomfortable for most people, some people. When we overpraise the bare minimum, you know, the bar, when we overpraise that, we quietly lower the standard time and time again. It's like the whole argument about somebody wanting to date somebody that has a car or has a place or works. I mean, they're only asking you to be an adult because that's the bare minimum to be surviving on your own is having a place to stay. Maybe a car, not sometimes it's tough, but public transportation is always cool too, especially if you got to go to work. Um, and of course, working, you got a job. You have to live, take care of yourself. So why wouldn't you have those essentials as an adult? They're not asking for nothing more than you being an adult. But it's crazy how you get praised for just having the basics. There was a time in my life where I was not, where I was on the market. Now I'm off the market. I've been checked out. I've been checked out. Somebody purchased me. And it's more so of at the time I was getting praised just because I had the basics of a place to live, a car to get around, and a job. And it was like, man, these are the basics of life. So when it comes to parenting, I don't like that the bar is getting lower to the fact that just because you see a dad in the store with the kids or something, you'd be like, oh man, that's a great father. And it's like, yeah, I mean, if they're consistent, if they're doing the job continuously, because if you're anything like me, I'm not looking for an applause. I'm not saying I don't appreciate it. What I'm saying is I'm gonna have to do that regardless. It's part of my responsibilities, as a man to take care of those kids and to be there for them. So why would I lack on my responsibilities to the ones that need it the most important ones, you know? Um, but again, this conversation is not about tearing fathers down. It's about raising the bar, okay? And honoring the men who show up even when nobody's clapping, right? Even when nobody is around to see, you're still there. Because presence doesn't trend, consistency doesn't go viral. You know what I mean? And commitment doesn't always get recognized, right? But it does shapes lives. It does shape lives, right? And today we're going to talk about why that matters. Why I believe that matters anyway. Um, because society's, low bar for fatherhood, I just don't think it's acceptable. I think it should be raised. I think especially because these kids deserve better. Somewhere along the way, society decided that fathers are optional helpers instead of essential parents. Because we all know both parents are needed. Nobody is needed more than the other. They're both needed, for a balance. That's what we're here for. And because of that, the bar for fatherhood became dangerously low. Like when a father shows up occasionally, he's called amazing. You're wonderful. But when a father does what he's supposed to do, he's called exceptional. And when a father does what mothers have always done without applause, he's treated like a hero. It's kind of crazy to me, That doesn't help fathers, it kind of limits them. That's my issue with it. We're putting limits on things that can grow exponentially with just more practice, more patience, and consistency. Um, because when the expectation is low, growth becomes optional. It's like they choose to, maybe, maybe. And when growth becomes optional, children pay the price. Nobody but these kids are going to pay the price for the fact that um, that we're choosing if we want to be better or not. It's not up to us. It's about these kids. So I, I like to say it like this: praise. The reason I appreciate praise and why I say I appreciate it wholeheartedly instead of saying like I don't think it I don't want to say like you need to do it, but I do appreciate it that it's done, is because it's like fuel. It's like motivation to just keep improving and doing better, being better. It's like praise. I think praise should be fuel and not a finish line, right? Not the end of the road, the end goal. But too often praise replaces accountability. And we all can work on being more accountable, regardless. You learn every single day that accountability is just something that you can always and will always improve on, you know? And the fathers who actually show up every day, who handle discipline, routines, emotions, finances, and protection, often do it quietly without recognition. And the silence, it weighs on men more than we really talk about. It weighs on it way more than we really talk about. And some people will tell you, hey, I don't really know if that's something that I do want to talk about. I get it. I get it. I get it. A praised father is often celebrated for moments, not patterns. He's visible, but not always reliable, right? He's present sometimes, but not consistent. He shows up publicly, but disappears privately. And again, this isn't about attacking anyone. It's not about an attack. It's just about moving in the right direction, being better. It's about honesty. Praise feels good, I will admit, and I understand. Validation feels good, it feels great. But praise without responsibility, it creates comfort where growth should be. So you so busy comfortable in the praise, you don't realize there's some things you can improve on and do better at. We all have to go through it to get through it. Fatherhood is it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Is it a challenge? Sure. Is it hard sometimes? Maybe. But it's very rewarding. I told my children that this morning when we talked about this. She was like, well, being a father is hard. She said, no, I told her, I said, no. Now, it may be hard at times, but overall, it's very rewarding. Being a father, y'all, is very rewarding, especially when y'all getting awarded at school or y'all are showing me how smart and intelligent y'all are, how patient y'all can be. The fact that y'all listen and be good kids, because it's gonna be times where, man, y'all gonna take us through there. Y'all gonna take us through there. But again, being praised doesn't mean you're dependable. Being celebrated does not mean you are consistent. And being recognized doesn't mean that you're doing the work. That is not what that means. Children don't need moments, they need patterns. They need discipline, structure, I'm telling you. And patterns are built through presence, not applause. Because they're going to think, oh, well, they're going to get used to the fact is, oh, if I do good, I'll see daddy. That's it, because you get applauded. No, man, consistency is better than anything. A present father doesn't just show up physically. Being a present father, you're going to be showing up emotionally as well. You'll listen. You'll notice the changes in your kids. You'll notice the what do you want to call it? You'll learn their fears. You'll learn their moods, their triggers, their kind of where their attitude levels are at throughout the day. You learn so much more about them when you are present. A present father knows routine. He knows bedtime. He knows struggles. He knows how his child shuts down and how they open up. For example, I can tell y'all right now, Well, bedtime, anybody will know that our bedtime around here, they have to be in bed by 7:30, TV's off by 8 for them to go to sleep. You know what I mean? Um, and that's unless it's weekends, and I don't care what y'all do. It's Friday, Saturday night. Y'all get to do whatever y'all want. Cool, have fun, enjoy. Um, Terrence, for example, Terrence will not open up or speak if you are being aggressive in your tone or loud in tone, or if he feels like he's going to be in trouble for opening up to you. So you got to be more calm with him, right? As to where Kalila, she's just an open book. So it's easy to talk to her about anything. It's pretty good. The other ones are just young, so I think they're still growing into their personalities, to be so honest with you. We'll see how they kind of go from there. Because right now, Miracle's very quiet, and Junior just has my personality all over again. But I love it. I love it. I love it. But presence is not loud, though. It's consistent. So presence is built in car rides, late nights, early mornings, and hard conversations, uncomfortable conversations. And here's the truth. Here's the truth. Children don't need perfect fathers. What you'll realize is children help you grow and become a better father along the way throughout life. Because I know they've helped me so much now, and I can only imagine how much more they'll help me as I get older. They need predictable ones. And when I say that, they need fathers who show up even when tired, even when stressed, even when unappreciated. That kind of presence, it builds security. And security builds confident adults. They will always know that I have their backs, that I will try to help them and take care of them with anything that we have going on. They kind of know that and they kind of understand that, right? So it works out for me. It works out well for me, actually, if I must say. Because sometimes you're going to have it to the point where, how do I say it? My children have made me realize that they will teach me something and they don't even know they did it. Like I will just pay attention to the way that they are and the way that they act and operate, and it teaches me to deal with something that I probably was dealing with in a different or better way. It's crazy to see sometimes. It's crazy to realize. But when you do, you kind of notice and take the back seat and say, you know what? Maybe I don't always have to be I mean, I'm always got to be the leader, but maybe sometimes I could let them sub in on teaching. Like why don't I deserve a day off? Who said I don't deserve a day off from learning a learning experience? I want to learn something. I don't want to be the teacher. Let me learn something new. Let me kick my feet back and relax, because they do that. They do that. They do that very well. Now, let's talk about the part that nobody really addresses in a way, I should say. The mental weight, because I was getting to it sooner or later. I was getting to it sooner or later. The mental weight of being a present father, you know, because present fathers carry emotional labor too. Y'all think we don't, and we do. They just don't. We're not gonna always talk about it. I don't need to show it and tell everybody about it. Like I have a therapist I could talk to. You know. Other than that, I try to keep it all, to myself. What I can. So, sorry. We are providers, protectors, problem solvers. And most of the time, we're doing all of that while feeling unseen, unheard, undervalued, unappreciated. No matter what it may be, you could be feeling any one of those things, multiples, all of them. Who knows? Who knows what you're going through? But that could be it as a present father and consistent one. A man can be doing everything right and still feel invisible. Like nobody sees me. Nobody knows. I'll be completely honest though. We made a video about a week ago, maybe a little over a week ago. We made a video. I think I talked about it. We did that step 4 challenge. And I was like, talking to my kids afterwards. Because Kalila, after the video, she ran and hugged me because she was just like, you didn't move. And she was very upset about that. So we were talking about it. And I explained how, when I was a kid, like I didn't really have good birthdays and good Christmases. Or I don't know. I'm sorry. I told her I didn't really have birthday parties and I didn't really have good Christmases and stuff like that. And so I ended up getting them to tell me what my birthday plans will be because they made secret birthday plans. Well, Kalila made secret birthday plans. My 7-year-old daughter made secret birthday plans. I'm going to tell you the plans, what they were. She was going to call all of my friends and family over to her grandmother's house so we can all have a nice dinner. We can all play some nice games and board games and stuff because she knows how much I love board games. Um, then she wanted us to go out and do something as a family. She had this whole little thing planned for the night. And in my mind, I'm like, as a 7-year-old, like, that's a lot of planning. Like, what made you want to do that for me? I'm just thinking she's like one of the, because she always talks about how she appreciates that I pay the bills. I don't know where she got that from, but I'd be like, thank you. I laugh at it and say thank you. But she always lets me know how much she appreciates me paying the bills. So when she brought up the birthday party, I'm like, what made you want to do that for me? My 7-year-old daughter told me, she said, well, you know how we were talking and you said you didn't have any birthday parties and good birthdays growing up. Well, I wanted to be the first one to give you one. My 7-year-old daughter wanted to be the first one to make sure that I had a good birthday. I just thought that was amazing. And when I told one of my coworkers, they were just like, well, that just goes to show how great of a father you are. And I was like, wow, actually, I guess in a way it shows that they appreciate me for sure. She definitely does. But the thoughtfulness of behind everything is just what I appreciate more than anything. It was supposed to be a surprise, and I'm sorry that I tricked my baby into telling me. I didn't think she would really tell me. I thought she would question me more, but I think she was just excited to do it, so that was on me. But I'm gonna act like I'm super happy anyway when it comes. So I can't wait. I can't wait. But prior to that, man, some things I just be thinking like nobody sees me. And then things like that happen. And I'm like, I am seen. So it's like, that's crazy. Happy to see it. Happy to have it. But again, a man can be doing everything right and still be invisible. And that silence becomes stress. That stress becomes withdrawal. And that withdrawal becomes isolation. And that isolation could mean you stay to yourself in the house somewhere around, but that don't mean you're typically leaving the home. Men don't need constant praise, but they do need acknowledgement, okay? Because strength without support eventually turns into burnout, which we just discussed last week about burnout, how dangerous it could be, what burnout looks like, how you may think you're okay because you're sleeping and getting that in, but you're not really resting like you think you should. Um, all in all, burnout can be a huge thing as a man that will take away from what you have going on. I think the best thing to do when it comes to those kind of situations, is to always realize that the men around you probably are going through more than you can see. Yeah, sometimes it may not be talked about in a way of upfront and forward like you wanted to, but maybe sometimes in the actions you can kind of help get that person to open up and speak about what's really going on and what's really bothering them. Because I get it and I understand that, fellas, we got a good poker face, we got a good game face. So the ladies sometimes don't know that we really going through it. They don't really see it. To them, we okay. As long as we smile and getting up and put one boot on at a time, we good to go. So the ladies don't assume we need the help. They think that we got it and we taking care of it. So we also have to do better at expressing when those things are, bothering or upsetting us, or if we're having issues with those. Because if we can't do that, well, they're gonna keep on going. They're gonna keep on thinking we all right. And I get it, fellas, man. I'm one of those. I'm very stubborn and hard headed myself with it. But my wife has kind of learned patterns. I shout out to her for that. I don't want to put that on her though. So I'm still trying to do better at opening up more about it if something is bothering me, because I don't feel like she should be doing all the work herself, you know? Um, but it's definitely one of those things where you just kind of have to gotta talk about it. Sometimes it gets heavy on us, man, but we gotta open up and speak. Go get it. Look, you don't want to talk to nobody else. Go get a therapist. You don't want to talk to them. Just talk to somebody. Y'all think I be playing, man? Call me. You don't know how many of my friends and coworkers come to me just to. They don't even say advice because they know I'm not gonna give you advice. I'm gonna tell you what worked for me in that situation if I went through it, and maybe you can find something similar that'll work for you, or I'll give you the best suggestion to it. But I can't tell you what to do. But let's be honest about something uncomfortable. Okay. Please let me get to the end of this and finish it before y'all start jumping down my throat. Please, please, please. Mothers are expected to parent. Fathers are congratulated for participating. It's crazy. You want me to say it again? Because it sounded crazy to me too, huh? But you think about it. Really think about it. Mothers are expected to parent. Fathers are congratulated for participating. That double standard hurts every single person involved. Every single person. Do you know why? Because it puts pressure on mothers, meaning they feel like they have no other option or choice but to be a parent. They have to figure it out no matter what. It's crazy. It's crazy for brothers to feel like that because I feel like we both need to be here. We both supposed to be doing this. This ain't no one-man job. Y'all see these kids? Y'all see these kids? Y'all got kids, man. Y'all know these kids be acting. This ain't no one-parent job, man. This is a two-parent job. Two-parent job. I don't care what nobody say. Now, I'm not taking away from nobody doing it on their own. Shout out to you. And I know it's tough and it's a struggle. Shout out to you for doing it. But, man, oh, God, this is a two-parent job. Facts. I don't care what nobody say. It infantilizes fathers, and it confuses children. I am trying to help my children navigate through life in the healthiest way possible while avoiding as much trauma as they can in the process. I don't want to be one of the reasons or one of the things that is stopping them from growing. I feel like that is unfair to them and unfair to me. My kids tell me all the time that I'm smart, and I tell them, y'all are going to get to a point where y'all are going to know more than me. Y'all are going to be smarter than me. Y'all are going to be totalitarian. Y'all are going to be stronger than me, bigger than me, everything. I have no problem admitting to you that you're going to be better than me. You are my children. You are supposed to be. If you are not, I am not doing my job correct. The whole point of me having you in this world is to make you and mold you into a wonderful human being, to be kind, to be patient, to be loving, to be caring. If I'm not doing my job, why am I here? I am supposed to mold you into a better individual than I ever thought I could be, while realizing you are turning me into a better individual than I thought I could ever be. That is the point, to make each other better, to grow and become better together. I refuse to be the reason my children are held back because of my actions. If there is something I am doing or something I am showing that they are mirroring or mimicking, I want to change that into a healthier way so they don't copy the same bad patterns and habits I had. We all got flaws, but they ain't gonna be perfect. But I want them to understand to always go down the right path. Simple. Equality in parenting, it doesn't mean equal praise. It means equal responsibility. That's what it is. Equal responsibility. It's so simple. Equality is kind of, how do you say it? Equality responsibility is realizing that I'm not telling you that everything we sharing, because there are some things that you're going to be responsible for as a parent that you're going to take care of, and some things I'm going to be responsible for as a parent that I'm going to take care of. That's what it is. But when fathers are treated like helpers, they're never fully empowered as leaders in the home. If they are in the home, they are not. Different conversation to have. Let me know. We can talk about it. Um, but you can't treat fathers as if like they are helping you. I believe they're more of like, to stay in the business, y'all are co-owners, for lack of a better word. You know what I mean? Y'all are co-owners. Y'all are in this business together. Y'all have to build this business for 18 years at least. At least 18 years minimum. Y'all have to build this business to make it as successful as possible. There are some times where you may have to put 21 years or 25 years into your business, but you want to make it successful, right? The business is supposed to be able to live longer than you and thrive. That's what the point of it is for, right? So when fathers are treated like helpers instead of business partners, they're not empowered to be leaders. And when expectations are uneven, resentment grows. And you may not see it right away because it's going to grow quietly. It's not going to grow right away, right off the bat, right off the top. It's going to grow in a way where you don't really see it. I see it like this. I don't want to take away from the mothers that have to do everything on their own and their father kind of pops up like a bad habit. I get that and I understand it. What I am saying, how about we try to be a little more, I know it sucks to say this, but like God say, we forgive. How about we try to be a little more supportive, to like try to be more engaging to kind of promote, more consistent behavior. You think a father isn't coming around as much. How about when they do come around, we talk about the fact that they're here and just talk about that we're happy that they're here and we appreciate that they came here without whatsoever mentioning the fact that they don't come as much. Okay? Let's start somewhere. Let's start trying to empower these men and lift them up with words of affirmation, I would say, in a way. Am I telling you, if somebody is continuing to be inconsistent even after trying to be supportive, I understand that people have to want it. So eventually, if you see that somebody doesn't want it, no, you've been being supportive. Like, it is what it is. You don't have to keep doing that. I get that. It's going to drive you crazy. That's the definition of insanity. Doing something over and over again, but expecting different results. So I wouldn't expect you to do that. I would just expect to let us not do what we would normally do in those cases. I've only heard stories from friends about these situations when it comes to, while they're parenting. The stories I heard of things like, well, I don't get to see my kids because of this, or I don't get to see my kids because of that. Or they will say stuff like, well, I kind of work a lot, but when I do come around, I keep getting stuff like, you need to come around more, or I'm only getting asked for money when I want to see the kid instead. And I understand that we all need help. But if we want the relationship to get better, if we want things to get better, to improve, we have to learn to come to a place of understanding with each other for the children. And if we cannot do that, we continue to create toxic cycles and broken homes. We want to be better than what we came from. I'm also not telling you to stick around and be miserable in a situation you're miserable in. What I'm telling you is that these kids deserve the best and healthiest versions of us in order for them to grow and be the best and healthiest versions of themselves. If we cannot give them what they actually need, we are dooming them and stunning their growth. And we can only blame that on ourselves. We are here as parents to be the best guidance these children can possibly get. Sometimes we don't have the answers to what they actually need. So we reach out and we find resources that will give us what we can to assist these children. But doing them an injustice of not being supportive and trying to compromise and be understanding when it isn't about us is just, it should be a crime. And I wish it could be looked at as a crime. I feel like sometimes we all need to take ourselves out of it and realize we have somebody, or somebodies in my case, that are learning from our behavior and our patterns. Children will show you time and time again how they are learning from your behavior, learning from your patterns, how you talk, how you move, how you walk. They will do certain things that mirror what you do. They will say certain things that mirror what you say to let you know that they are watching you even when you think they aren't. So even when we sit here and we act deceitful, not even deceitful, I'm sorry, we act aggressive towards each other, violent in some cases, um, inconsistent, or just we don't want to compromise at all. The kids are looking at it like that's what should be done in life because they've watched you do it this whole time. Am I telling you that everybody that parents is always going to never be like, or is going to never be like that? No, I'm telling you that I believe that every parent will probably go through a phase of that to learn and experience that you can't do it. You cannot do it. I just feel like we're the adults. And if we continue to act like children in front of the children, they're going to grow up thinking that being a child is what you need to be. We all are going to grow. We have grown as parents year after year. We've been doing this for almost 10 years now. And we're going to continue to grow as parents even more. We are. But I guarantee you, as a father, I have always tried to improve and be better. Always. And I will always continue to try to be better. I just don't like that most people are walking around here being praised for attendance. It kills me. It kills me to know that you're pretending, knowing how much work it takes to really be there for these kids. And you're pretending like you are there, like they have it there. And people question these kids like, why are you like this? You have both parents around. Because it looks like it. I don't care if you think me and Diamond are together, separated, divorced, not living together. I guarantee you, I don't think anybody has ever thought that when it came to these kids, I wasn't there. And if you have thought that, you should have came and talked to me. I don't know why. I don't need to post and show every little achievement or thing that happens, because some of those things I like to keep for me to know, for me to brag about, for me to talk about. I get people all the time when they see us, they talk about some things and they explain it, and I'm all like, man, that's dope that they kind of paid attention to that. And I know that I'm like, well, some things I need to keep for me then, because there's some things I want to be able to brag about without somebody else saying, yeah, I know about that. I seen that the other day, and no disrespect to them, because I appreciate that they pay attention to my kiddos doing good, But I have continuously tried to improve, even while being stubborn at times, which I know I can be. I have continued to try to improve as a father because I believe they deserve the best version of me that I can be. And if I feel like I can improve every day, that means they can get a better version of me every single day. That's just how I feel about it. That's just how it is. I know they're going to appreciate it sooner or later, whether it's now or when they get older, they'll appreciate it. I don't do it for that. I do it for the fact that when it comes to it, I look back at my job and say, job well done. You succeeded. You have done what you needed to do. You have fulfilled your duties. You still can come back to this job later if you need to as a temp agency if you want. Because if you ask me, I feel like your kids need you all the way till you leave. I feel like the last thing you can do for your kid, the last lesson you're going to teach your kids, is when you leave this earth. Because you have prepared them so well in life that when you leave, the only lesson they have is learning to live without you. You have prepared them to deal with life. They just have to learn to deal with it without you. That's it. I think that's the last lesson we can give to our children as they grow up, as they get older, Again, this conversation is not about shame, because shame doesn't create growth. It creates defensiveness. Men don't need to be attacked into accountability. They need to be supported into consistency. Okay? You can raise the bar without tearing men down. You can challenge fathers without belittling them. And you can become present even if you weren't taught how, because I swear to God, God forgive me for using your name in vain. God forgive me. I promise you, I myself was not taught how to be a father. Do you know that I was so eager to be a father when I first found out that Diamond was pregnant? I would go read the how-to books for dummies as being a father. I would do all my research online. I would do so much. It was just like I wanted all the knowledge I could learn, because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go next. What should I do? So because I realized I didn't know what to do, I just jumped right in. All right, we're gonna learn as we go. Hey, have I had some exceptional men and great men and decent men give me great advice throughout the years of me being a father? Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely have. I appreciate every father that has ever came to me, every father that has ever given me advice, every father that has ever approached me to just have a conversation about, how we feeling at the moment. I appreciate all of it, every single bit of it. Even the ones that gave me constructive criticism. I got to use good words to let you know what I mean by that. Even the ones that had the constructive criticism that I was too stubborn to pay attention to at the time, whether you know it or not, I heard you. I heard you loud and clear. I may not have wanted to admit to you then that I heard you, but I'm telling y'all right now, loud and clear to the world. I appreciate everything y'all has ever said to me and told me, any advice y'all have ever given me, because it has helped me grow and mature as a man and a father and a husband as well as that. So I appreciate it wholeheartedly. But again, consistency, like I say, it's learned. Consistency is learned. Presence is practice. And growth is all but possible. It's just possible. Growth is possible. I want y'all to know something. Your children will not remember the praise you received. No, not at all. They will remember how safe they felt with you, how often you showed up, how you made them feel seen. They'll remember your patience, your reliability, your presence. They will remember all of it. Okay? The father you are today becomes the standard they expect tomorrow. Presence, it becomes legacy. That's all your children are going to notice and realize, they're going to remember it all and have that all. Children they're sponges. They soak up everything. If you're a father listening right now who shows up every day, again, not for recognition, not for validation, but because you understand your responsibility, I want you to hear this. You matter. Your presence matters. Your consistency matters. The love you give matters. The foundation you continue to build and grow and help maintain, it matters. So don't go chasing any applause, because the applause will not always be there. Because what's going to happen on those late nights when you help them with homework because, they need help with it. Ain't nobody there to see that. Ain't no applause. What, you going to go live every day to get the applause? Don't chase that. You're not going to get where you want to go by chasing that. It looks like you just want it for show. Chase the impact. Chase the difference it'll make. The time it'll take, the effort it'll take, but how much growth will come from it. That's what you want to chase. I'm telling you, don't worry about the praise. It'll come sooner or later, wherever it is. It'll be there somewhere, somehow. You'll see the praise. Worry about the impact you'll make on these kids, the impact they'll make on the world, the growth that they can have, the growth that they'll see, the change that they'll see. When they see you grow and change, they know it's possible. When they see you do it, they know they can. I'm telling you, these kids rely on us to be the blueprint. Wholeheartedly, they do. Because long after the praise fades, presence is what remains. That's all that remains. Because sooner or later, you could say all of this stuff you did for kids, but what they're going to tell you, yeah, but Dad, you were never really there. And that's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you. But when you get your kids and let it be known and they understand that you are always there for them, it's a different type of appreciation, a different type of gratitude. Like, I'd be so thankful just over the fact that my kids even acknowledge that, that I'm here and I'm helping and I'm involved, and without me it wouldn't happen. My kids think that if I wasn't here, they wouldn't have a place to stay. And I told them, Mommy will figure it out. If I wasn't here, Mommy would definitely make sure y'all had a place to stay. Plus, Daddy got a backup plan. So if Daddy leave, that's what life insurance is for. I'll make sure y'all have something, and that's not going to be able to replace Dad, but it'll at least make sure stability-wise, y'all have a roof over y'all head and, food on the table. And, that's what it can do. But again, that presence, man, it changes lives. You don't understand how important you are to your kids, how much they love it to see that you're there, how much of an effect you have on them just for being around. Most of us may not see it and understand it, but I'm telling you now that it's amazing to know that if anything, those kids, man, they pay attention to you. My kids can tell you, and which I'm happy about this, because if they ever get lost or something ever happen, they know who their daddy is, and hey, mama, they know what to say. They'll tell you my first and last name. They'll tell you my birthday. They'll tell you my favorite colors. They'll tell you my favorite movie, my favorite food, my favorite candy. Like, my kids, that's why I call them my little broke best friends, because we love each other. We know about everything about each other. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, these kids are amazing, man. They're dope. They are dope. So my kids know all that. So if anything ever happened, they can tell you. And you're like, who's your dad, Marquand Thomas? And they might even throw on a senior there just to be funny to you. Say the senior, not junior, because my brother's name is Junior. You know what I mean? So it's these kids will see, when they see that you're there, they know they can rely on you. They know that you are reliable. They know that they can rely on you. So they depend on you more, and they put more trust and faith in you more, and it makes them feel like they can do more. You know what I mean? So take it one step at a time. But I just want to give a shout out to my fellow dads that are out there showing up and showing out every day, man. I know it ain't June where it's Father's Day, because that's the only time they talk about us. Barely sometimes. Actually, they talk about more about the single mothers. And you ain't gonna get to that today. Let me stop. We're talking about us. I know we don't get praised a lot and talked about a lot. When I say that, I know we don't get acknowledged a lot. Let me rephrase that wording. I know we don't get acknowledged a lot on how well we are when it comes to us being present and active and consistent. But what I do know is, from being a father in the home that's present, is that people in the home will acknowledge and appreciate me being here and being there. Because of my patterns and consistency, they let it be known that I may be the glue that holds everything together, which is a great feeling to know. Great feeling to know. So I know we don't society, there we go. Society doesn't promote it a lot on how we hear, how we show up, how we're involved. It is seen and it is known. Because as y'all know, today's generation of fathers is the best fathers to date. Most involved fathers, most improved fathers to date. And I appreciate y'all for that. Because as a father who as a father who grew up without a father, I can only imagine the feeling these kids are having from having that. Because I know what it feels like to not. You know what I mean? I know what it feels like to not. So I appreciate y'all. But again, man, just stay safe out there. Stay safe and enjoy. Stay safe and enjoy. Happy Black History Month. And I'll catch y'all. Oh, well, I can't say it like that. Y'all know me, man. Let me get out my little intro. I was just a little. But again, I appreciate y'all for coming out and listening to me on this wonderful Wednesday night on the hottest radio station on the planet, Hot 702.5 FM. I will catch y'all again next week, next Wednesday, same place, same time. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace, love, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all next week.